Hello and welcome to No Spin. I'm Nidhi Razdan. The Congress is in meltdown. First, the series of high-profile exits from the party. The latest, Ghulam Nabi Azad, who not only left last week, but also launched a scathing attack on Rahul Gandhi. And now more rumblings as the party finally prepares to hold elections to the Congress president's post in October. Senior leader and Member of Parliament Manish Tewari has raised concerns over the lack of transparency in electoral rolls for the elections. How can there be a free and fair election without a publicly available electoral roll, he has asked. Now, on this issue, he has been backed by other senior leaders of the Congress, including Shashi Tharoor, Karti Chidambaram, Anand Sharma. So, how is the Congress president actually elected then? Well, it's by about 9,000 members of the Pradesh Congress committees as well as delegates of the AICC, that's at the national level. And these delegates are chosen by approximately 6 lakh Congress workers across the country in different states. However, many Congress leaders like Manish Tewari, Shashi Tharoor and others say that this process is opaque and it needs to be made transparent and needs to be made public. The Congress itself says that this is a non-issue, this is not something that needs to be published on a website and that candidates can get electoral roll lists from their PCCs. But are these rumblings a sign of an even bigger crisis that is about to befall the Congress party? Let me first go straight across to Mr. Manikam Tagore, Lok Sabha member of the Congress party. Thank you, Mr. Tagore, for joining us. Why is there a reluctance, Mr. Tagore, for the Congress to give, listen to what your colleagues are saying, fellow members of Parliament, and saying, be more transparent about the electoral rolls and make them public?
Thank you. It's been carried out, the election process has been carried out by this Congress. There is an organization called the Central Election Authority, headed by Mr. Madhusudan Mistry, former MP and senior leader of the Congress party. And there are 4 members with him, Mr. Krishna Bairagowda, Ms. Jyotimani, MP, and Sharan Singh Lavli, the Delhi former PCC president. They all 4 of them have the Central Election Authority, and there are Pradesh Congress Committee returning officers in each state who had been appointed. Therefore, there is a process which has started around 4 months before for the election process, from the booth level to the block level, and then the block level there was a consensus and there was delegates being elected. Therefore, the Election Authority Chairman, Mr. Madhusudan Mistry, has told the process that in the Congress party, after the PCC delegates election consensus is over, the PCC members list will be provided to the Pradesh Congress Committee officers, that is in the PCC headquarters in each state. When the notification is issued, any 10 members can file nomination, and that now after the nomination is filed, the person will be given the voter list.
But Mr. Tagore, I just read out to you what Manish Tewari said to that. He said, why should someone have to go to every PCC office in the country to find out who the electors are? And in the interest of fairness and transparency, I urge your good self to actually publish the entire list of electors. Is he wrong to suggest this?
No, he may want a new process to be adopted. The Congress party has a process in place. We need to understand that Congress party has a process which is being followed. Earlier elections also it has been followed like that. We usually.
But that doesn't mean it's a good process if it lacks transparency, which is what your colleagues are suggesting.
So the problem with the media is that you are twisting their words. Main thing is there is a transparent election process being conducted, and a consensus, ground level consensus has been achieved by the PROs who had come to the block levels. For example, in my block, I'll explain to you a simple thing. How I become a PCC.
No, but Mr. Tagore, why it's not the media's fault. The words in the interests of fairness and transparency are words again that fellow members of Parliament from your party are using. Like Manish Tewari, like Karti Chidambaram, they're all saying in the interest. So obviously they think it's non-transparent right now, which is why they're demanding transparency. My question is whether these rumblings, therefore, are a sign of another crisis about to hit your party. No,
that's what I'm explaining to you. For an example, in my block, from my booth, 2 delegates are elected, and all the 40 booth leaders, 80 people sat together, was asked that, is there anybody who wants to be the PCC member? And somebody proposed my name, they all accepted. This is the way the process is done. Therefore, we have to understand that transparency, other kind of these words are another very catchy words. We know the thing that media catches that thing. My colleagues may be using that words, but main thing is Congress process is a transparent one, and Congress leadership election or officers like Madhusudan Mistry, Krishna Bairagoda ji,
but
or Aravind,
we've got Mr. Sanjay Jha here.
All are senior people.
Sanjay Jha, if the process is so transparent, then why are current sitting members of the Congress's Lok Sabha asking for transparency?
Nidhi, in my opinion, because the Congress party is holding an election after a long time, and this is a very significant election. It's a watershed election because, in my opinion, a change of leadership, or even if there is some continuity, it will be a very, in my opinion, an outlier event in India's political journey. It will have repercussions, trust me. I want to just make 2 points here. I think the Congress really should have got, ex-retired chief election commissioners to oversee this election process. It would have just given it a very strong respectability and credibility, because I remember Rahul Gandhi did that in the Indian Youth Congress elections in the early days. But I want to make a point here. Manish and Shashi are all friends, and I think they have every right to say that, there should be full transparency, because this is an electoral college. Because if you're a candidate, you want to know who are you appealing to. You don't have to canvass to mass gatherings. You have to speak to focus groups. But I would agree with Mr. Tagore to a great extent today. I mean, this one needs to be very honest. Mr. Tagore is right in saying that this data cannot be for public consumption. You don't want the BJP or your rival regional parties to poach on your own electors, number one. Number two, I read Mr. Mistry's interview in the Indian Express where he said the accessibility will be given to candidates. So I think the real problem will occur on 2 points. Number one, if Shashi is a candidate, and I do hope he contested, because in my opinion, he's an exceptional candidate for the Congress president. If he is not given access to the data, I think that will be, in my opinion, blasphemy. The second point is that Manish, Shashi and Karti, they're all friends, but I need to here be a little dispassionate. If people felt that the process is flawed, they should have anticipated this earlier and raised it. I think at this point, I would like to believe that the Congress party is taking a step towards, an election that a lot of people, including me, were very cynical about. But if they're doing it, I think despite flaws, I think it's a step in the right direction.
Okay,
so I think we need to find a
that's an interesting way to look at it. Rashid Kidwai, Tavleen Singh also joining us. Rashid Kidwai, you've seen how the Congress has functioned for decades. What do you make of this controversy?
Nidhi, I find it quite amusing. Senior Congress people, Congress insider, Congress office bearers, they have very little or no knowledge about how elections are fought or what is the election mechanism. So I think I look at it, whoever is making whatever pronouncements, it's more of a, posturing. It's like a bargaining chip or something like that. You enter the Congress party office at 24 Akbar Road. Where is the office of the Central Election Authority? A very high sounding name. It's a barrack. It's outside, it's near the gate. It's barely 12 by, 9 feet room, which cannot even accommodate the office of the 5 persons that Mr. Tagore has mentioned. In no state unit, there is a, election authorities, state wings. There is no kind of ballot paper or EVM or anything like that. And this is not applicable or unique to the Congress. It's there in all political parties. Now, the membership enrollment, Mr. Tagore's, state, the Congress holds a distinction of sort, a dubious distinction of having more members, if you include Youth Congress and NSUI and the main Congress party, than the number of votes it got. So these are the kind of discrepancies are there. We are scrutinizing Congress because, the similar scrutiny is not done in case of all other political parties and regional parties.
But that doesn't mean the Congress shouldn't do it, right? I mean, is it transparent enough, Rashid Kidwai?
Not at all. Not at all. That is my argument.
Yeah.
That, the organization elections are not in a way that we look at general elections or state assembly elections. And this is applicable to all. And Nidhi, here, who's talking about it? You are not raising it. It's the people who have been, president of Indian Youth Congress, NSUI, office bearers, all these people are saying it. So that is why I'm saying this is a posture, this is a pressure tactics.
Therefore, Tavleen Singh, the larger takeaway, at least as I see it, is that these are signs of more trouble to come for the party. Because, Shashi Tharoor might throw his hat in the ring. He supported Manish Tewari on this. Manish Tewari has been taking a different position from the party for some time now, whether it's on Agnipath and some other issues. And now you have Karti Chidambaram throwing his hat in the ring on this particular issue. So does this bode well for a party that's already beleaguered by so many crises?
Well, it really seems as though nothing bodes well at the moment for the Congress party. It's at its lowest point in every sense. But I agree with Rashid that, which other party has internal democracy? So I think we're making too much of a fuss about this internal democracy business. And I think the people making these objections on, we should we should have more transparency. I don't think that's what's relevant. They should all come together with whatever the system is and make sure that there is an election, and that that there is. They would be outstanding if they did that as a political party, because which political party has these systems? Do you know internal democracy is there?
That's very true. That's very true. We don't see that. We don't see that in the BJP. We don't see that in other parties. But Mr. Tagore, are you anticipating an actual election this time with, two non-Gandhis contesting against each other?
No, Congress Working Committee has approved a schedule for Congress President, and among the 8,800 delegates, any 10 can come up and propose a candidate. What is the problem in it? It's a democratic process. Let it be there. Let it be open from 22nd of September. We all welcome that. That should be the democratic process to start. We all believe that there will be. We all have full trust in the system which is being designed. With great respect to Mr. Kidwaji, I want to differ in this thing that he was telling about the office space and others. Sir, with great respect, there are BROs in each block has been appointed. They are the people who report back about the PCC members being elected in each block, 8,800 blocks. For example, in my block, I had been, the consensus this thing is that I had been elected from my Tripura block where I am sitting now. There are 40 booths. Each booth has got two delegates elected. Therefore, there is it's a process which is being monitored from the central level. It is not that it is everywhere. It has to happen from a Nirvachan Bhavan like story. Congress can't have an election system across like an election commission. Therefore, there is a difference between an election commission and the central election authority. It's a top-down approach. The grassroots level, the elections happens. The selection or election happens in a consensus manner, and this is happening in the Congress party for years together.
But can I ask you, Mr. Tagore, honestly, why do you think then your colleagues are saying this? Why are they questioning the process?
No, I respect my colleagues. We have to, because Congress party, because we have to understand that we have difference of opinion on many things. That Congress party, in Congress party we have, and I and Manish ji sit, we are in the parliament next to each other. We have differences. This is the strength of this party. He has his opinion, we have our opinion. Therefore, we all come to a conclusion, and we always believe that this dialogue has to come up for the good of the Congress. Congress has history of that thing only. For 120 years, 30 years, this party is having this debate.
Rashid Kidwai, are we going to see more exits soon? And could this actually be perhaps the beginning of the Congress trying to maybe rebuild itself? Is this an opportunity for the party to be able to do that? Make a beginning somewhere?
I think Nidhi, is always a kind of opportunity, particularly in theoretical terms. Practical terms, what will happen? We are seeing, because there was no split in the Congress after back-to-back defeat of 2014 and 19. I see Congress is a group of people who are very unhappy about themselves, and there are a lot of leadership problems there. It all depends upon the Gandhis, how they allow this election to be conducted. Because you look at Central Election Committee and what Mr. Tagore was referring, that BRO, DRO, PRO, these are all the district returning officer, block returning officer, Pradesh returning officer. They all are appointed by Congress President, or in this case of state unit, the state party chief appoints. So this is all a exercise that is self-seeking or self-fulfilling. Therefore, I am saying again and again that let's not have a notion that it is like general election or assembly election. So it depends upon Gandhis if they become detached, as what Rahul Gandhi had said in May 2019. If he allows this kind of election to take place, we'll have a kind of an interesting contest. And just one more thing, Nidhi, very quickly. You look at Congress where it is not very politically strong. It states like UP, Bihar, Bengal. I mean, if you leave aside alliance with DMK, then I can include Tamil Nadu, parts of Maharashtra where Congress is fourth player. See, in these 5 states, in terms of PCC delegates, the Congress has over 50% of strength. So anybody who has support of these 5 states can win. And who has this support? So everyone knows how the Congress elections would take place.
Interesting what you said, Tavleen Singh. You think the Gandhis will let go and allow this to be a fair election?
I've said it so often that I'm tired of saying it. Maybe it'll be a fair election. We hope that it will. But is it really important? I mean, do you really believe that either Sonia Gandhi or Rahul Gandhi or Priyanka Gandhi is going to allow the new Congress president, whoever it might be, to take charge of the party? No, it's not true. It was always. There's no. I don't even actually see that this discussion is that important, because what is really important is whether the Gandhis are prepared to play a kind of a token role, a role that isn't actually in total control, which is what they are. I mean, Rahul Gandhi is technically not the president of the Congress party for the past years.
But effectively he calls the shots.
And he takes every decision. So what are we talking about here?
All right. Well, the Congress is certainly on test over the next few weeks. Let's see how this plays out. Thanks very much to all of you for joining us. Thank you.